Okay, 1807, good luck. 300 games, so a good bit more than I've done. Again, I'll just stick to a traditional retinue with c4. e3 is basically the more fashionable move these days. So check. Just aiming to collect our pawn, but depends what black does. Now knight up, knight e5 is the right move, and then they're the two main moves. If bishop up, you just take the bishop and then collect the pawn. Yeah, bishop up. So take and just take your pawn back. Then try and keep a path so the queen can escape if comes under attack. So this is a potential idea. Now black can force an endgame, but it is standard. So g3 down, takes, bishop up. One of the knights down, knight up. It's all kind of fairly routine. Knight up I think is perfectly playable, but your queen can come under attack and can't then escape. Yeah, so I'm going to just stick to the principle. So queen down, obviously I'll just trade the queens and develop, and then just watch out for knight coming down with a threat and knight a3. I'll just click on a square to remove all the arrows. Okay, really taking a long time here, but it is 10 minutes each, so that's what your times for suppose. Goes e6, so we're just going to stick to the principle, just develop and castle. Yeah, knight comes across. I think castling is perfectly fine now. Might go queenside, that'll be interesting. Yeah, might go queenside and decide to fly all the pawns down the board. So it could get quite a sharp game. Obviously we can try and counter and fly our own pawns down the board. Knight attacks the queen, so I think queen back is okay. We still threaten to potentially trade the knight. And we create a threat to the pawn. I don't think I'm blundering here. So just drop back, hit the pawn. Potential to take here. Maybe develop the knight here. Oh, pawns come up. Well, that now allows knight up, and if you take, I take the rook. It's at least a natural development move, so I'm going to play knight up. So if you take, I just take the rook. So obviously rook across. Perfectly sensible, I would think. Now we can try and potentially challenge in the centre. Okay, just clear the marks and cursor off the board so there's no accidental slips. Yeah, rook has indeed gone across. So I can take now, and you're going to have to take with the pawn. That creates at least an imbalance. I'm not sure it's a good imbalance, but here at some point this is going to happen, but it could be fine. It leaves a minority of pawns on this side, so that makes sense to me. And we can try and strike out in the middle, develop the bishop. Yeah, I'm going to take there. Now I'm going to go forward. I mean, maybe knight there is playable, but... Actually, I'm just going to go up one for now. Maybe look to develop the bishop and connect the rooks. Oh, that's almost a blunder. Not quite. Not quite, is it? Not quite. And I don't think I can create that. If I go here, bishop takes, I don't see any follow-up. So I'm just going to develop the bishop and look to improve the rooks at some point. Got to obviously protect this square. Knight goes back. Is that just plain stupid? Takes, takes, probably. Probably stupid. So let's come back. So this pawn could be weak, so I'm going to push the pawn before it gets fixed and blocked. If here I can maybe go further on, otherwise I'm threatening potentially d4, but I don't want to get my bishop completely pegged in. Maybe I can go here and trade. Okay, I can go here and still potentially trade the bishop. I think that makes sense to me. My opponent's bishop is more active than mine, so I'm going to try and trade it. Now, where do I want to put my queen? I could come all the way back, I guess. I mean, c5 is a very natural move. That's just where I want my queen. I can go here or here as my candidate moves. Let's just see what black does. Queen forward. Okay, hitting the pawn. Again, that's a very natural move as well. Restricts the knight. Helps to challenge this. So I'm going to play it. So the knight's not really got a lot of outposts right now, but again, could get them in the future, and the pawns can fly down the board. So I'm going to come across and just challenge this pawn. And this one is still a target at some point. Maybe we'll try and push our own pawns up the board and work on the minority side. But again, you can imagine black's rook coming across could be dangerous. Now, is queen to either of these okay? I think here makes sense to me. Pressure the pawn. We've got the option to come back and try and trade the queens if we need to. We've got the option of playing b4 now to try and stop black playing b5, or at least make it more difficult. I may be playing this one slightly too quickly. Yeah, rook across goes defensive, so takes I don't think is a move. That looks just to be a bad move, so I'm still looking at pawn forward. If you counter, I can maybe push. I could just play rook up first with a view to doubling up. I might not really achieve a lot. I guess rook here. I'm not going to challenge in the centre, am I? That looks unlikely. Queen back could be a move then, but feels a bit negative. I'm going to play b4 with a view to maybe b5. Now, why can't I just play b5 now? If you come here, I just take, right? I think I can play b5. Threatening to simply capture. Oh, I could have just captured anyway. What am I doing? I just played that one far too quickly, didn't I? Just lost my mind with that one. Okay, there is a checkmate threat you've got to see first, and then as well as a hit to the pawn. Maybe knight across just defends them. That was really, really careless of me there, though, moving too quickly when there was a free pawn on the board. And I'm up 3 minutes as well. Because you've got to play the clock as much as the position. If you're up on time, try and keep your opponent low on time. Now, I can definitely collect a pawn here. And that feels like it's just playing better for me, so... I'm going to do it. I'm going to grab the pawn. So this time I'm going to go a pawn up. And then just drop the bishop back. Or maybe I could go here and plant the pawn, but that feels a bit unnecessary. Here first to maybe kick the rook. And then come back. Oh, it come forward as well. I didn't expect that. I'm trying to keep the momentum reasonably up. Now I can trade off my bishop for the active knight. Now I'm just a clean pawn up, and that should be better. That should take away a lot of risk. Obviously, he has got a 2-on-1 on this side. But I've still got the extra pawn. It's a protected pass pawn. My king's got a bailout square. Oh, can I come actually right across now just to target the pawn? You can't defend with this rook. You've got to drop back here. And then I can just go here. Oh, but then I guess you can risk doing this. No, you can't. I think I go here. Here, I think I go here. And you can't come up and abandon the back rank. Oh, well, now I can just collect the pawn because there's a back rank checkmate threat, I think. So take, and if you take, you just blunder checkmate. But it is rapid, so let's just double check I'm not blundering. Take, take. That's definitely a mate threat, right? So I think I'm safe just to collect the pawn, and now we're 2 pawns up. Okay, it goes across, so I can potentially double up here, or I can potentially double up here and target the pawn. If I double up on the 7th rank, that rook can't defend the pawn. If that one does, then I'm going to target the outer pawn. So I'm going to go here. You have to go back. I think I can simply come here and collect another pawn. And that rook can't defend it either. So I think we just collect, and then we come here and we run our pawn up the board. Just go straight back and hit this pawn again. Okay, that's a good win.